Pre-IPOs, a 60% return on investment that I made in 7 months with investing in a pre-IPO company via the website Start Engine. So in this episode, I'm going to go over what is Start Engine, what is the pre-IPO, the Jobs Act that created this, what exactly I invested and how this happened, and all the other great stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, before I jump into that, y'all know what time it is. If you haven't done so already, go ahead, make sure. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, hit that like, comment, and share button. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, you are now tuned in to the Investor Show. As always, this is your gracious host, the Prince of Investing, Prince Dykes, coming to you guys and girls live all the way from the beautiful city and state of Denver, Colorado. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. And as always, I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys and girls don't have a lot of time, so we are going to jump straight into it. So let me see what y'all say in the comments before I run into today's topic of my 60%, which really was 68% return on investment in 7 months via Start Engine Pre-IPO. So right here, Lucky's mom, she's out of Duval County. She says, good evening, made 2 lives in one day. Yes, I'm trying to make up for last week. I was gone for a little while, and I want to make sure I get y'all some good content. Had a lot on my head that I'm trying to get out. All right. Al, what's going on? He's out here in Colorado. That's my guy, Al. He's in the live. And then Mad Fox for You says, what's up? Houston is in the house. We got Houston in the building. Shout out to Houston for coming in and representing. And then we got Nana Powers. How you doing, Nana Powers? Hey, how you doing? So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Let's do the history of where this pre-IPO market come from. So the first thing, let's get into the Jobs Act. This is to jumpstart our Business Startups Act, Jobs Act, passed by President Obama back in 2012. Now, what this did was this opened up the pre-IPO market, meaning if you was a new startup, before someone can invest in you, they had to be an institutional investor, an accredited investor, all those type of things, meaning that you had to have a network of about 2 million. You had to have $1 million in liquid. So, and you had to have that for at least make $200,000 to $300,000 for the past 2 or 3 years or something like that. So you had to be on the up and up. And this was really to protect investors so people wouldn't be able to come along with schemes and scams and things like that. So when President Obama signed this act back in 2012, this opened up the whole pre-IPO market. He said no longer people have to be accredited in order to invest into pre-IPOs. You can now crowdfund and start your business from the bottom. Now I'm going to get into the advantages and disadvantages of this act, but this opened up the opportunity for regular everyday people to be able to invest into pre-IPO companies. Before, when you saw the TV show like Shark Tank, that was very inspiring to me. You had to be wealthy, rich already to invest into these new companies. But this act opened up the whole entire pre-market, this pre-IPO market. Now, IPO is an initial public offering. An initial public offering is this is when a company goes public. Like right now, when you go out there and you buy Apple and Nike and Facebook or whatever, those are companies that have gone public. They're raising money from the public. So a pre-IPO is being able to invest into a company before it goes into the public. This act allowed this to happen. It allowed entrepreneurs to invest early on. Now let's get into what were some of the advantages of the pre-IPO investing. The advantages was President Obama signed this. This got through Congress because everybody said, hey, this will open up people to start businesses. And regardless of whatever plan you do out there in the world, whatever plan you put in the world, all these policies they try to make, the cornerstone of our economy is jobs. If people don't have jobs, they can't buy houses, they can't buy cars, they can't buy clothes, they can't invest money. So people have to have jobs. So the idea was, hey, if we take away all this red tape and let these young entrepreneurs make it easier for them to start their company, this can create jobs. People can invest into them and make money at an earlier stage. So as an entrepreneur, it gives me the opportunity to be able to raise money easier and faster And also, the better my company does, guess what? I'm going to have to hire people. And when people are working, it is good for everybody around, lowers unemployment, people buy houses, cars, and they take trips, all that good stuff. So that's the advantages. Now let's get into the disadvantages of pre-IPO investing. The disadvantage is, number one, this opens up the door for frauds. This means that anybody out there can get onto a podcast, a YouTube channel, or whatever, and come up with any type of fraudulent idea like, hey, look, invest into my company. I'm raising money to build light bulbs in Colorado. And when you do that, this person could not have any experience. It could just be stealing money from people. So it opens up the door for fraudulent activities big time. And then they're going to people that are the most gullible. So before, you had to be an accredited investor to be able to invest in the pre-IPOs, meaning you probably are a sturdier investor. Versus when you crowdfund and get money from everybody, you can get money from people who don't know that much about investing, and you can swindle them out of their money, open up the doors for fraud, because a lot of pre-IPO companies, they don't have any finances. You don't get the chance to see the fundamentals of the company. You don't know how much money they're making, how much money they're losing, where's money going. You don't have income statements, none of those things, right? So now, let me get into this. Now I'm going to get into what I did. I invested $250, nothing crazy to write home about. This is my first time ever doing this, into a company called SolarTrack for $1 per share. So what I did was I got 250 shares for $1 per share off of Start Engine, and they sent me out a form, the contract, and then they sent me out quarterly statements. I knew nothing about the fundamentals of SolarTrack. I just like, hey, agriculture, food, solar energy, put those two together. I like that idea. So that's why I was interested in doing it. So I made a $250 investment. I paid the money. I set up an account. I brought the company SolarTrack for, I felt like green energy is going to be the future in the next 4 or 5 years. Everybody's moving towards green energy until we got the chip shortage. But everybody was moving towards green energy. I like that idea. In agriculture, meaning that everybody has to eat, I said, hey, I'll put $250 into this company. Who cares? And I had no fundamentals on it. I just like the idea of the premises. It seemed like the company was well organized. I had constant communication from the time it was confirmed. Every month I got a update on what the company was doing. So it came out pretty good. Now, what ended up happening, the publicly traded company called iDynamics came through, and they brought SolarTrack for $1.68 per share. Now, let me see what y'all say in the comments before I go a little bit further. I'm going to get into the buyout by iDynamics, right? Hello, Damien said, oil prices up crazy. James Fortland was right. Y'all give a shout out to my Uncle James. Give a shout out to Uncle James. He came on and said, Prince, oil is going to outperform Bitcoin. I'm like, what? You crazy. Uncle James did come on and he called it. I got to give him his flowers while he's alive. Back in January when Bitcoin was going crazy and oil was nothing, he said, Prince, 2021, oil is going to outperform Bitcoin. I'm like, this dude sounds crazy. And as of today, ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin has wiped away all of his 2021 gains, and oil prices are running up throughout the summer. So shout out to James. I got to get him back on the show. So Yvonne says, hey, Prince, how you doing? Hey, how you doing, Yvonne? And then on Twitch, somebody says, apparently said, yes, sir. Okay, definitely. Appreciate it. All right. So now I get an email. Telling me, hey, iDynamics is buying SolarTrack for $1.68 per share. And I said, what? So then I got a couple of companies reached out to me and said, hey, iDynamics wants to cash you out for $1.68 per share. So every stock that I brought for $1, iDynamics is buying it for $1.68, making me a 68% return on investment in 6 months. And then also they said, if certain milestones are hit, I can be awarded with iDynamics stocks. iDynamics costs about $3. They are a publicly traded company. So if SolarTrack hits certain milestones, I can get an additional payout of iDynamics stocks. But our dynamics came through. They purchased SolarTrack off of Start Engine. This publicly traded company, Dynamics, came and brought SolarTrack for $1.68 per share. They sent me the forms to fill out. I had to fill out the forms, and they're pretty much going to pay me $1.68 for every share that I brought, making me a 68% return on investment in about 6 to 7 months. So I don't like the idea of being cashed out. I would just like to hit the transfer to Dynamics stocks. I spoke with them about that, but right now they're saying, hey, they're looking to cash all the initial investors out. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's how the Jobs Act, the political climate changed in 2012 that allowed me to invest into a pre-IPO, one of my first pre-IPOs, and being able to turn me a 68% return on investment within like 6 months when the company got brought out. But I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, this don't happen all the way. This is rare. Don't get used to this. Don't go out and I'm not telling anybody, go out there and buy all of this stuff. I'm just opening you up to something new, a new idea that happened for me that I'm glad that it happened. And that's how it happened for me. So let's see what y'all say in the comments before I roll out of here. Young Mar 42 says, you think we should load the boat up on Hack? If so, should we keep for 5 to 10 years? What do you think on this? Now, Hack is an ETF. It has a couple companies inside of it. Hack is a ETF that specializes in cybersecurity. My personal belief, I don't think Hack is going to do anything crazy. I think the industry is going to do great things. I mean, as long-term, 5 to 10 years, yes, I'm into cybersecurity. I definitely believe cybersecurity will be the future because, ladies and gentlemen, our healthcare is online. Our entire, I know for myself, my health records online, everything is online. My healthcare is online. My finances are online. My everything is online nowadays. You can't live without the internet. And just imagine, think even our livelihood is online. The way they track our cell phones, the way our light bills and water bills, the stop and go lights, all that stuff is on a network. And as networks and cybersecurity, not networks, but as networks continue to grow and dominate our lives, you're going to have cybersecurity because every day somebody's trying to hack President Biden's email. Somebody's trying to hack into our stock exchange. Somebody's trying to hack into a bank. Every day there's somebody there. So I looked at it. That's the way I looked at it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the way I looked at it. I'm a very big component into Start Engine. Not Start Engine, but I was reading somebody else's comment, but into cybersecurity. Kendrick Taylor, what's up, my guy? He says, what's up, Prince? What's going on, Kendrick Taylor? Let me give you a little round of applause. Kendrick. Hello, Dammy. He said, BT stock was recommended that James gave. Those dividends are coming soon. Yes, that BTT stock, Uncle James recommended. I want to say that stock is up 100 and something percent this year, and it has blown past Bitcoin so far. So yes, Uncle James was definitely right when he came on to the show and he brought up BTT stock and he brought it up and this thing is doing great. Max B, that's my guy. What's going on, Max B? He said Start Engine was a great idea. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to let y'all know something. I'm going to put this out. This is my claim right here and it's well documented. I started an app called IABOH, was the Investors and Business Owner Hub. And I launched it back in 2014 with my own funding. And it's exactly what Start Engine is today. That's what I took to the Shark Tank. So you can go back and look at my Shark Tank video back in 2015, 2016. That's what I presented to the Shark Tank, the idea called the Investors and Business Owners Hub. When I saw Obama pass that law in 2012, I went out with my own funding, created this app called IABOH. The website may still be out there. And I took it to the Shark Tank. My whole idea, I built it, created the app, created the website. And the whole idea was for small businesses and investors, small investors and small businesses to connect to make investments. But I was in over my head. I didn't have the backing that I needed. I didn't have the backing. I didn't have the resource capital that I had. Then at that same time, while I was building IOBOH, I was also funding, my book series and other things going on. And I only had so much capital to go around at that time. I didn't have the proper network at that time to be able to get it done. But yes, I would probably put up that video. What Start Engine is today in 2021, I pitched that idea back in 2014, launched it myself, the entire app and everything. So and that was based off of President Obama when he signed that. So you know what? I'm going to pull it up right here. I'm going to share it to you, ladies and gentlemen. So the idea that you see in Start Engine, I'm going to pull up the website. It's still up and running. Right here's where I launched back in 2012 to the Shark Tank. Right here. Investors and Business Owner Hub. I have the trademark to this. This is my site that was created. So this was the whole idea where I wanted to take business owners, people who had small ideas, and I wanted to create business investors. You can see even my name is on here, created a profile. But I took this whole idea and I wanted to push it and be what Start Engine was. So this was my idea of Start Engine 7-8 years ago, probably, well, now 9 years ago. Launched it back in 2014, built it, created it, took it to the Shark Tank. Nobody was interested in it. Then it's, nobody was interested in it at that time. I didn't get the backing that I needed. And then, guess what? Start Engine and Republic and We Funded, they did it right. They made it happen. So, yeah. So that was my whole thing right here that you can see. That's something that I launched way back in the day. So, yeah. So great idea that I truly admire. Shout out to those guys. They got it right. They did it right. And, and it worked out. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to hold you guys and girls up. I just wanted to show y'all this. I wanted to show y'all how this happened. So we talked about the Jobs Act, how the Jobs Act opened up the door to the pre-IPO market, the advantages and disadvantages of the pre-IPO market, me making an investment, investing into a company, and then the company being brought out. I was paid out, and now I'm open to having ideonomic stocks. So that's the whole thing. It's a whole nother idea of investing. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope you guys and girls got something out of this episode. If you did, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button and share it with all your friends and them, and tune into the podcast that's broadcasting around the globe. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, to the next video, podcast, cartoon, or whatever else crazy you see me doing around the globe. As always, my name is Prince Dykes. This is the Investor Show. Peace, be safe. I'm out. Thank you.